I'm just going to talk from my heart. And when Natalia originally contacted me, we were talking about another book called Living in Process, which is Anne's the name of the work that Anne has developed and kind of brought to the world, and which I'm a big part of, and have been working with her for the last 25 years. And then I told Natalia about a more recent book called, ta-da, There Will Be 1,000 Years of Peace and Prosperity, and They Will Be Ushered in by the Women. And Natalia said that maybe that was even a better topic to talk about for this particular conference. So that was how we landed here, which was a little bit awkward for me being a man. However, I have worked with Anne for so long, and really, we spent years and years on this book. Originally, Anne was working on a book called Journey to Total Societal Transformation. And it was huge. It was like 700 pages, I think. And it took quite a while to process it around and work with it. And eventually, this book came out about, I think 3 years ago. And she actually wrote 2 versions of it. I don't know if you knew that, Natalia, but there's a version 1 that's written in what she says a Cherokee Irish way, with lots of storytelling and poems and all kinds of, meanderings and stuff. And then if you flip the book over, it's written in a more kind of Western facts, detail, straightforward way. And, what she had said is, challenging people to read both of them and see the difference in how you feel. Anyway, so the title came from Frank Foolscrow. He was a great Lakota spiritual leader that Anne met in the 70s. And he said this to her back then. And that had been sort of, with her for all these years. And then it wasn't until, again, the 5, 6, 7 years ago that she got clear that was going to be the title of this book. And similar to what the Catalin was saying, and other people have said, now is the time. I appreciated what you said at the beginning, Natalia, that now is the time that women have more influence than ever, right now, and I was thinking about the title of this conference, and I've been thinking about a million things. I've been kind of crazy with how much I've been thinking. It's way too much. But one of the things that is true, I think, is that, when I was thinking about, what is Anne saying about the solution, or what is Anne saying about the future, like predicting the future. And I think I got clear pretty quickly that Anne's position on that, which makes a lot of sense to me, is that we have no idea. We have no idea. It's like, I wrote down a quote here from this book, which is, we need to remember the future is always unfolding, an unfolding unknown process in which the elements permutate and change constantly. And I think it's like, as I was doing a little bit of research and kind of preparing for this speech, I was reading through some of the book again, and I think what Anne was saying, and what makes a lot of sense to me, was just kind of like, the future is now. We have all kinds of opportunity, and we don't know. One of the things she said is like, we have no idea, and that some of the things that what she's talking about, especially, obviously this book is about women, so what she's talking about women can do is get themselves clear, and to stop repressing themselves, so they can be stronger and clearer in how the future is shaped, or how we come to it, and some of the things she talked about, Brigitte and Annika are here, sitting right here. They're part of our international training network, and they came and they've lived with us for with Anne and oh yeah. So one of the things that Brigitte especially keeps talking about is what Anne has written about, called stoppers. and frequently, a lot, what we talk about is that I think all people, but in this case, what she's talking about is women have stoppers, things that we do to keep ourselves, that women keep themselves from knowing what they know, feeling what they feel, and seeing what they see. And some of those stoppers are like addictions, and I don't know if there's any recovering addicts in the crowd here, but anybody know, all addicts, I think, know that that's one way to completely keep yourself out of your intuition, your spirituality, your intelligence. Everything is, to be addicted is, and I think that's, one of the books that Anne wrote was called When Society Becomes an Addict, when she likened Western culture to an active alcoholic. And that in this culture, we are encouraged to be addicted. It's like, to not know what we know and to stay out of touch, then so that we can function in this dysfunctional system. And this is one example, I think, of how women stay stuck. They stay in their addictions, and there's a number of other stoppers that women have, both internally and externally. I mean, like, one of the things I was reading in the book the other day was, things that women, I think, and men say to themselves, like, I'm not good enough, or I can't do it. I mean, similar to what some of the other speakers here have said, all this crap that we say to ourselves to keep us from being powerful, and especially women, from being having the great power that women have. And then there's also there's internal and there's external stoppers. I mean, absolutely, the culture is trying to stop women as well, and especially women's power and women's intuition, and I think what Anne is saying is that, how can we work with this and move on from this, and not grab onto the stoppers and not stop ourselves, or not stop themselves. And so that is going to shape the future. That if women are bringing their power to the moment, to every situation and to their lives, that's going to change the world. For some reason, I keep thinking of this, of what Barack Obama said a few years ago. He said, if women just got together and, were the heads of state, or I can't remember the details of what he said, but basically what he was saying is that women can run this place better than men, and everything would be much better if women were running the place. And I would agree with that, and I think that's what Anne was saying too. That, similar to what other people have said, it's like that the women are coming from a different place. And I think another thing that was really, I know I've got, there's tons of material I can cover, and in just a few minutes here, I'll just touch on a few. But just one other kind of topic I want to touch on is that, the women's system is and an indigenous system. She often talked, Anne was Cherokee, Native American, and she often talked, there was a saying that said, lots of indigenous cultures throughout the world have said that there will be a time when our wisdom is necessary to save this planet. And Anne often would intertwine that with the women's wisdom. Women's wisdom and indigenous wisdom is what is needed to save this planet. And so